Out of sight. Angelo Mosca and Joe Kapp, former CFL players, fight. This is why the Canadian Football League CFL rocks. It's got a wide open field, lots of passing, a backfield constantly in motion, and ex-CFL golden oldies that will knock each other's socks off. Bad blood, 48 years worth, was a boiling and a brewing, and came to a head 2 days before the 2011 Grey Cup game when Joe Kapp and Angelo Mosca got into a wing-ding scrap. Angelo Mosca played most of his CFL career in Hamilton, Ontario. Hamilton is the Canadian equivalent to what Pittsburgh used to be before the latter got pretty and gussied up. Hamilton's a steel town, and the football fans of the hometown Tiger Cats like their football played hard. Smash mouth football. Angelo Mosca played an attorney in Hamilton in the defense, and he fit that bill perfectly. He was so tough, he could chew cement and spit out gravel. So how can you cap Joe Kapp punching it out with Angelo Mosca over lunch? Doesn't get any better than this. Well, maybe it might have if the two were in prime condition like they were when the trouble started in that 1963 Grey Cup game. Thus, for this year's fundraiser for retired CFL players, Kapp brought a couple of flowers, he says, as a peace offering. No word on how the flowers are faring. Actually, Kapp tossed them in the crowd afterwards, but Kapp had a medical appointment to see how badly this latest sack attack may have hit him. Note to Joe: putting flowers Mosca's way might be akin to waving a flaming red hanky in front of a raging Randy Bull. Joe Kapp and Angelo Mosca may not have distinguished themselves in this senior citizen set 2, but Kapp, more than likely, will forever go down in history as being the only quarterback ever to play in the Rose Bowl, Grey Cup, and Super Bowl. Who's to blame, Kapp or Mosca? The correct answer is, who cares? Some CFL stuff search may be smirched, the supposed publicity dirt arising out of this flare-up, but when the dust settles down, they'll see this worldwide attention to matter CFL is the best thing could come around in leaps and bounds. Joe Kapp, like Mosca, was a real tooth-and-nails competitor. With his rugged jaw, dark hair, and 5 o'clock shadow, the package gave harbingers of the offensive hurt that was to come. He was a great quarterback, and now we know he's a pretty good fighter too. How many quarterbacks do we know that can deck and floor a left defensive tackle and ex-professional wrestler like Mosca? Okay, this scrap wasn't Tosca, but jeepers, what should we expect from geezers? The CFL Alumni Association luncheon was hardly the venue for a belt me thwack you, but they quickly got into it, improvising plans to pound the other to spam, and if it hadn't been for others breaking the fisticuffs up, who knows? The brawl might have lasted. Kapp was a lot prettier than Mosca in his day, which works out swell because, well, Vancouver, where Kapp earned his spurs becoming a CFL Hall of Famer, is a zillion times cuter than Hamilton in every way. The bout took place at the aptly named Beatty Street Armory. The you-know-what hit the fan this November 2011 because Mosca nailed running back Willie Fleming of the BC Lions in the 1963 game with a late hit. Kapp hadn't forgotten. Football players are not only nearly as big as elephants, their memories are nearly as big too. With these two combatants, there are, no surprises here, two versions on how the fight flared up. Kapp says Mosca cussed him. Mosca counters that Kapp used obscene language. Come to think of it, the fuses on our warriors do seem to be a little short. Simple, standard, ready to fight, here I am, you ham and egg or loser in tights. Taunting shouldn't be an automatic spark to beat each other's brains in. But these brains might be a tad mushy. BC Lions president Brian Skolsky hopefully better not mull with a dull, thick skull. Joe Kapp should always be welcome back as a Grey Cup winning quarterback to the team's tromping and training grounds, if not with open arms, then at least with a cordoned off area where Kapp can roam semi-free. There he can hunker down to hopefully find another CFL old-timer and attempt another epic peace overture diplomatic spree. Whee! As for Angelo Mosca and the Oski Wee Wee Tiger Cats, what's with him? And what's with that? That's the chant. It goes on, Holy Mackinaw, Tiger Cats, eat 'em raw. It was the spirit of the time, and it was into this tradition that Angelo Mosca was steeped. Not that he needed much encouragement from this ditty. He already brought to the table all the necessary accoutrements for football gridiron war, having been schooled in the sports niceties at Notre Dame. If you're keeping score, Angelo Mosca holds the record for most Grey Cup appearances at 9. Pittsburgh may have had the famed-steel curtain, but Mosca with John Barrow, a fellow stalwart on the Ticat defensive line, formed a brick wall. Halfbacks, tailbacks, slotbacks, fullbacks, wingbacks, call them what you will, all met with a stiff rebuff. History buffs have got to love not only this precursor scrap to the 99th Grey Cup football flap, they have to sit up and take note. BC Lions got skunked early in the season going a big 0-5, and then went on to the sweet smell of success in the Grey Cup, beating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 34-23. No team had ever had such a raunchy start and a rosy finish. While this starchy cane pain rumble fumble of late date was a poor lifestyle decorum example for the small fry, for the old fogies, take this from that. Use it or lose it. It's never too late to settle old scores. Let her go.